Well, any chief minister is going to make changes that they feel appropriate for the needs of them being able to manage and operate the executive government. And they can happen any times. And it's hard to judge when you're not in there why or what's happened. We won't know the full story, I suppose, and never will. I suspect part of the changes have been because of the Chief Minister assessing some of the public reaction to some of the policies that are being pursued by those ministers. And if that is the case, then clearly a Chief Minister is going to make changes. And there's not really much more we can say that. We wait to hear what he says and to explain the basis of why he's done it. I hope that they are changes that will benefit the island. I think there is a need to give some more positive messages out and to actually demonstrate things are happening that are going to improve the quality of life and the funds available to people to live a good life in the Isle of Man. I think people have suffered enough in terms of over the years struggling with increased costs, a lot of them driven by government. Government isn't about money. Government is about service first, and then what money do we have to provide those services? And I think there is a need to change back to that and not just concentrate purely, which I have to say from an outside point of view seems to have been cost first, service second. Government is about service first and foremost. It's not a business. A local authority is not a business. Doesn't mean you can't use the basis of business, but you start by saying, what is the service we need to provide for our people so that our opportunities, good quality of life, and that standards of living are good.
The new Department of Infrastructure Minister today said in his statement that he wants to reset the relationship with local authorities after everything that's happened. What do you think that looks like to you and the rest of the local authorities, given the fractured relationship you've all had with the department over the last year?
I don't think we can pretend there hasn't been a problem with the previous minister. When a minister of government has 16 local authorities uniquely seeking to give evidence to a branch of the legislature to object to an amendment that wasn't even government's amendment, which the minister clearly decided to defend strongly, I think that tells you a lot. And I think that relationship has become very strained. Local authorities have been frustrated at not being listened to at all, or very little listened to. And I think it's just built up these things. I was Minister of Local Government Environment for 5 years. I was Chief Minister for 5 years. You can't ignore public opinion. It doesn't mean you do everything the public say, but I mean, our government is a compromised government. We don't have party politics. Chief Ministers are able to manage the government properly. All the powers you need are there. It's a power of persuasion. And assessing what the public needs and how we provide it is critically important. If you give out too many negative messages all the time, it actually comes back to bite. I think the people of the Isle of Man want to see us moving forward in a positive way.
It's obviously a very late change to change ministers at this stage. There's a month to the budget and there's 6 months to an election. What do you think that says? And in your experience, what do you make of it essentially? And would you have done something like this at such a sort of short notice?
Well, it's hard for me to assess because when I appointed my team as Chief Minister, I kept the team for 5 years. It didn't mean we didn't have differences. It's how you manage the team. If there are problems, you sit down and talk them through. There is a respect that the Chief Minister gives guidance, and if the Chief Minister says, I want that to happen, it's meant to happen. And because ultimately he's responsible, or she, to Tynwald. And I think that when there's a change like this at this period of time, presumably the Chief Minister has assessed that and he's made a judgment based on what he thinks is the right thing to do before the election. Ministers can get up to speed pretty quickly. I think the difficulty comes to the departments because the officers then have had quite a number of changes over a period of time, and it creates difficulties because they basically have to start again to brief ministers on what's happening, discuss with ministers how to go forward. So the ministers who are there until the general election, in fact after, but general election in terms of reality, will find it difficult to make any substantial changes. It doesn't mean they won't make changes. You can make changes very quickly. It's when you get to the detailed stuff, it takes time. And I'm sure that we will see quite a flurry of small but important changes made very quickly, and certainly I think that'll happen for the budget. And I think that the ministers will quite clearly work to hopefully make changes they feel benefit the Isle of Man, which hopefully they have the support of the Chief Minister and the Council Ministers to do. Then they have to persuade Tynwald it's the right thing to do. And if they're successful in that, that's all we as people can expect.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.